Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I wanted to share with you the 4 books that changed my life. Let's just get straight into it. First and foremost, the China Study. This book is a study about the link between chronic disease and nutrition. This book has over 5,000 statistically significant links between what you put in your body and the occurrences of chronic disease. So it turns out that heart disease and cancer, the largest things that are going to kill us, are all down to what we put into our bodies. This book took over 40 years to write, and the amazing thing is you can buy it for I bought it for $27, amazing, right? Talk about, turning decades into days. This book, before I read this book, I had no idea about the links between, nutrition and chronic disease. I had no idea about how food impacts my health. This book is a must read for anyone who really wants to dial in their health, anyone who cares about longevity, anyone who is tired of the yo-yo zigzag diet and actually just wants to read the actual science. My first recommendation, China Study by Colin Campbell, a must read. You will not regret it. Okay, so the second book that changed my life, you may not have heard before, and very few people have actually read. It's The Shortness of Life by Seneca. As you can see, it's a very thin book. It's only about 150 pages. My copy's all torn up with different highlights and different things. This book was written 2,000 years ago, and it is more relevant and more impactful today than maybe ever. So you may have already read books like 4,000 Weeks, or even like 4-Hour Workweek to an extent, management books like, like the 80-20 principle, all that kind of stuff. You're like 1 Minute Manager. Those books are great, and they're kind of in, I don't know, there's a modern take on some of life's challenges around time. This book is the origin. This book is the source code. This book was written by Seneca 2,000 years ago about the importance of time. Time as an asset, time as a resource. There is some incredible quotes. This book needs its own video, of course, but second recommendation on the list, Seneca and the Shortness of Life. I think you can get a Kindle copy for this for a couple of dollars. I like Kindle, but I also like sometimes just getting into the weeds and highlighting things. I love active reading and highlighting, but yeah, second recommendation, Seneca and the Shortness of Life. You will not regret this at all. I was going to read some quotes out, but it'll make the video too long. But so second book recommendation is Seneca and the Shortness of Life. Okay, so this next book that I wanted to recommend to you that changed my life, you have probably heard about, but may or may not have read. It's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. So again, not a long book, maybe 150, how many pages is it? It's 160 pages, right? This book will transform your view of life and the meaning you give to life. I don't know the exact wordings of the quote, but something to the effect of like, when we can't change our circumstances, we have to focus on how we can change ourselves. There's so many incredible quotes in this. I've bought like 3 or 4 different versions of this book. There is one that is kind of like has a black cover with a flame on the top, which is a little bit smaller print. This one's a little bit easier, easier to read. So Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor. He survived 4 years in the concentration camps, and he literally would write a manuscript on little tissues of paper that he could find all around in the camp. And it's a first-hand account of what he experienced. There's a reason why millions, it says 12 million copies have been sold of this book. I think there's many more than that. It's funny, people come to me for book recommendations and they always talk about what books you should read, and I feel like everyone on earth should read this book. I highly recommend it. Again, this book needs its own video, but I'm going to make this video super short. So number 3, Man's Search for Meaning, a must read, and this is something I've read multiple times, and so you will always get something new from it. That's the third recommendation, Man's Search for Meaning. Okay, so the fourth and final book, and this is a book that I've read 3 or 4 times and I've gifted it to people, and that is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. I love this book. This book is incredible. like I said, read it multiple times, and it's something that every single time you read it, new things come to the top of your mind. One of the quotes of the book that I love is that no man steps into the same river twice. The man is different and the river is different. This is exactly what they talk about. So a lot of people talk about and recommend this book, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Very famous book. A lot of people talk about it. The key challenge with this book is that every single page has its own pause moment where you've got to pause and think, and there's a lot to unpack here, right? And it's something that I have read. This is the Gregory Hayes version, which is the one I recommend, but there's another Penguin one as well. But this is great. This is really, really actionable. So it takes a lot of the ideas in this book and turns them into stuff that you can actually action in your daily life, and it turns it into just daily meditations, for lack of a better word, that you can draw down on and think about. And it's just one idea a day, and I guess it acts like a word of the day calendar, but it's for philosophy. I can't recommend this book enough. This is a book that I've obviously gifted to people, and I've bought multiple copies for myself. This book is incredible. Anyway, so I don't want to rant on too long. This is another book that needs its own video. So just in summary, they're the four books that changed my life. First and foremost, The China Study, and then we've got Seneca, Shortness of Life, Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl, and then Ryan Holiday's The Daily Stoic. If you have reading goals this year, you want to read these books. Reading these books will completely change your life. I think what I'm realizing is maybe it's not about reading 52 books a year, those challenges. I've tried to do those challenges before, but when you read more ambitious books, it actually takes you longer to read some of these books. Like Titan, for example, is over 800 pages. It's really hard to read that in a week. But if you can read these books in this year, I think you are going to be very, very glad that you did. Anyway, that's today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Keep reading, be kind, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.